Welcome to Boys in the Berg, the show all about Pittsburgh. But today we're taking a little field trip down memory lane and a field trip out of Pittsburgh for just a little bit. I'm JJ Speranza.
And I'm Chris Speranza. And field trip, wee!
We're taking a trip down memory lane because next weekend is Wrestlemania. And this weekend, we're going to be talking about, or tonight, we're going to be talking about the time Chris and I went to Wrestlemania in New Jersey.
Well, also, WrestleMania is coming. And this weird holiday lands on it called Easter. And I don't understand why. WrestleMania is WrestleMania. And WrestleMania is 2 days now. Well, I've known it's been 2 days, but it's probably news for you. So there was WrestleMania Saturday and WrestleMania Sunday.
Outstanding. What a wonderful way to, I can't make fun because I watch football all day Saturday and Sunday. So like, what's the difference?
Well, they are both in football stadiums.
That is true. And MetLife, man, we got so many memories. Do you remember like how this whole thing got started back in 2013 whenever we went to this show?
So before we get started on your fact, I am going to go ahead. I'm going to hit you with something. I'm going to tell you some historical facts about WrestleMania.
People, it's a new day because I don't have any history facts. It is all Chris today.
Oh, it's a new day. Yes, it is. So the historical facts for you, JJ, I'm going to have to hit you with it. So just so everyone knows, we're going to be talking about when we went to New York City, well, kinda, New Jersey, and for WrestleMania 29, what the experience is like of driving there, of going to the WWE Hall of Fame when it was fun back then.
And it was in New York City. That was at, Madison Square Garden. So we were in New York.
Yeah, and so the history of this is in 1985, Vince McMahon, which we don't talk about anymore for reasons that he did, Vince McMahon started WrestleMania where he put all of his life savings into doing this one event because he wanted something that was the Super Bowl of wrestling. So he wanted to do it in Madison Square Garden, which we were in. Technically, where the first WrestleMania was. And the very first main event was Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Ollendorf.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, I didn't write any of that down. I just know it.
It's Chris's obsession, everybody, and we're okay with this. We love him for it.
Yeah, and so it was a very historical moment to go back to where WrestleMania started. And this was the first WrestleMania that we went to. And I tried looking this up. I swear, when I bought the tickets, they were under $100.
They probably were. Our seats weren't the best in the world, but they were still good because we got to see everything.
Except for, so if people don't know, WrestleMania, which started in Madison Square Garden, now is in these huge stadiums, like these giant football stadiums. And what they do is they have these giant canopies that are over top of the wrestling ring to block out the rain. So, when it was in Philadelphia, they had heaters on there so people can stay warm during their matches. But I think this was, I'll get into something in a second, but there was a pillar that was right there holding the one canopy up, and it did block at least one good sight line for us because we were in like section 500.
That's fair. And I guess we were kind of next to the entrance ramp, so we got to see like people walking down but not really see them come out.
But there's just so much to talk about. So
I know, right?
I was like, but we did get to see one of the greatest Undertaker entrances of all time, of The Undertaker versus CM Punk, where The Undertaker came out from hell and everybody's hands were going after, trying to grab The Undertaker, if you remember that.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that. Wait a second. We could see the growler from where we were sitting, can't we? Or couldn't we?
See the what?
Where the wrestlers stand and wait till they enter the ring. The growler?
The growler? Well, what are you talking about?
Like whenever their music's going off and they're standing or getting ready to go through the curtain.
Oh, gorilla.
Oh, gorilla. Don't worry, people. I have plenty of jokes today, and that was not one of them. That was a true I did not know.
Gorilla position was created because of Gorilla Monsoon, who is a commentator, and gorilla position basically is the last place that you go to before you enter the ring. So that's what gorilla position is.
Cool. Thank you.
So you stand there, and when they say go, that's gorilla position.
Interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, but that's we got to see a little bit of that because I think we saw Triple H getting ready to walk in.
That was really cool. And we were kind of like behind the yeah, we were kind of like behind everything. And we'll talk about the stage setup and everything too in just a second, but let's start. So, it was me, you, and my dad. Our dad.
If anyone didn't know, we're brothers, and that's our father.
It's our dad. And this was a once in a lifetime thing that I was like, whatever, it's only a 7-hour drive. I think we could pull this off. I found a hotel room in South Hackensack, New Jersey.
It's still there. It's the hotel's still there and everything around it, if you catch my drift. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Well, when you post something on there that says hourly rate for staying in the room, I think it's going to last for a while.
Behind a glass window that would, block bullets with the strip club 2 doors down, it's quite the time.
And this is pre-pandemic too, so it was there for guns.
True. Yeah, I just got that one.
So, we got I ended up getting the tickets. I think they were like I got them on StubHub for like under $100 a piece. And
Mhm.
I was like, I want to do this. Let's just go ahead and do this. And the one thing I wanted to say was this is before WrestleMania was like now tickets are like easily $1,000 or more. I feel like this is before I think they were just thankful to be doing this in stadiums. So now it's a whole event where it is like the Super Bowl and there's a WWE shop called like WWE World. You could go, there's conventions and everything. They did have conventions where we were at, but I feel like just wasn't as big. So
We talked about this back in 2022 when we talked about whenever like we'd watch wrestling shows in Pittsburgh. Like I agree with you. Back then, like in the even like early to late 2010s, like it was a really, really just fun time. It wasn't all like super expensive and commercialized.
mhm. And so we drove from Pittsburgh to uh technically South Hackensack, New Jersey. Uh but when you were driving, because you
Yeah.
drove most of the way, can you describe the one very funny thing that happened?
Yeah, actually, I have a note on that. We were driving into South Hackensack. At that point in time in my life, I had never been to New York City. I had never seen a city bigger than Pittsburgh. So as we were riding in, I saw what I thought was New York City. It was actually, oh, what's on the other side? Or Jersey City. I saw Jersey City, but I was like, oh crap, it's New York City. I'm driving right into the Big Apple. It's right in front of me. Somebody help me. I'm going to pass out from this panic attack. And dad was like, dude, you're not even looking at New York.
Uh, if I could correct you, I think it actually was New York because it was just we're used to Pittsburgh being just this one, like maybe 2 or 3 skyscrapers, and that's it. New York, it's just like you can't capture it in one photo. It's just miles of skyscrapers.
It is, but I really don't think it was. I appreciate you saying that though, 'cause that makes me feel better.
Well, you were worried because you thought we were going to be driving into New York City,
Yep.
and we did not. We ended up just going right to our hotel. That was well. You said you looked up the hotel. What was the hotel name again?
It was the Knights Inn.
Okay, it was a cheap room, and it was like 10 minutes away from the stadium. That's all I remember.
Yes, we got to the motel, Holiday Inn. We got unpacked. And as soon as we got unpacked, we were like, okay, well, we got to figure out if we want to drive to New York, take the bus, take a taxi. And we thought, let's try and figure out the New York, New Jersey bus system. Chris, do you want to take over this story?
Yeah, I'll take over because the first night that we got in, it was the WWE Hall of Fame. And right now, what they do for the WWE Hall of Fame is they do a Friday night SmackDown, and then they do the WWE Hall of Fame right after, and it's a timed TV thing, and it only lasts like an hour. This is back in the days when the Hall of Fame was its own event, and it lasted like 6 hours because people just didn't stop talking. And so what we had to do was find a way down there. But in 2025 days, I would have just got an Uber or a Lyft.
Oh yeah.
But back then, I was like, let me try and figure out the bus system because I know there was a subway that you could get there, and I couldn't find where the subway was or anything. And funny thing, last time I went to New York City, I took an Amtrak from Greensburg all the way to New York City, and it takes you right underneath Madison Square Garden.
We did the same thing. We took it from Wilson, North Carolina into New York City and it popped us right. Well, did you go to the Penn Station?
I think it was Penn Station. Yeah,
There's a really good pizza place right outside there.
you would find the pizza place.
Oh, of course.
And so I call the bus place, and all of a sudden they're just like, "Oh, you need a bus? You go downtown." This is what they sounded like to me, and I was like, "Uh huh, yeah, mm-hmm." Because I'm someone who like I will listen to the phone call and then hang up and be like, I have no clue what they said, and that's exactly what happened. They're just like, "Oh, you won't get to downtown? You get that? I'm walking here." I'm just like, I don't know what he's saying.
So you hand me the phone and say, you do this.
We eventually get a bus, and we eventually go through New York City, which was awesome.
That
And
was.
we get to Madison Square Garden, and we go in there,
Well,
and
wait. On the bus, do you remember all the like people that were going to like farmers markets and they had like all of their produce on their laps trying to get down into the city?
yeah. I remember it was a variety of cultures on that bus. And
From South Hackensack to New York. And then we, not to back up a little bit more, but we got to the city and went to the diner and got some food first.
that's right. I forgot about the diner. And that was like our first like experience of a New York diner, and it was awesome.
I think there's a picture somewhere of you and dad, and like in the background is just beautiful New York people. And I was just like, this is so not Pittsburgh. I'm so not used to this.
We're in the concrete jungle now.
Yeah, man.
And so we get to Madison Square Garden finally, and it's just so different. It's just like, in Pittsburgh, you find a place to park, and then you just go to like PPG Paints Arena, and then you go back your car, you wait in traffic to get on Fifth Avenue, and you go home. And like this, it's like people take subways, or people live in the city already, and they just walk there. It's such a different environment. Um, but I did not look this up. All I know is the Hall of Fame class that we saw was, uh, I don't think it was headlined by Bruno Sammartino, but Bruno Sammartino was in it.
It was
And
hosted by Jerry Lawyer.
okay, hosted by Jerry Lawler. Uh, and there was also someone who was inducted into the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. Uh, his name, I don't know if anyone knows about this guy, but his name is Donald Trump. Uh, I don't think people remember that he's a WWE Hall of Famer.
He was also inducted by Vince McMahon. And do you remember how the fans reacted when he came on stage?
They booed him.
They so loud he couldn't even talk. And it was like, back then, I think you and I were like, but he's funny.
They booed him. They hated him before they even took away their Medicare.
Oh my gosh. It was kind of cool to say that we were in the same room as Donald Trump. So like
We were. Regardless of political views, we were in the same room as Donald Trump at a WWE event.
but that was a really cool event because just like you said, we did get to see Bruno Sammartino, who is a Pittsburgh legend, get inducted.
There's the Pittsburgh tie-in. We got to see Bruno Sammartino, and this is before he passed away and everything too. We got to talk. I mean, we got to listen to him talk about his story about escaping Italy during like the World War II and everything, and they used leeches to cure him because he was gonna die. Like he had a crazy story. Like we might even have to do like a singular episode about him in general.
There is so much to say, and, like, his family is still so ingrained in the city, especially up in the north in, like, UPMC, Passavant? Sorry, I was gonna say something else, but Passavant, like, his family's super involved there too, so, like, he still has this legendary background still happening today.
And correct me if I'm wrong, was this Hall of Fame headlined by Mick Foley?
I think it was headlined by Bruno Sammartino, Chris.
Mm, I thought you would have this note. Now I gotta look it up.
I obviously, I have, like, Bruno Sammartino was inducted by Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mick Foley was inducted by Terry Funk. Which, do you remember the crazy thing that happened when Mick Foley got inducted?
Did like Chris Jericho go on stage and uh, he took like a clothesline or something, and CM Punk counted 1, 2, 3?
Yep, because Mick Foley said, "I never beat Chris Jericho out of all my years," and Chris was like, "I got this."
Okay, so it was headlined by Mick Foley, and oh my God, Bob Backlund, he got inducted too.
Bob Backlund inducted by Marina Menounos for some weird reason.
I don't know why, but I just remember her going like, "Bob Backlund paid his taxes. Bob Backlund did this. Bob Backlund did that." I don't know. It was pretty.
Her speech took about 6 hours to finish, and it was just talking about Bob Backlund doing regular American stuff
Trish Stratus, so she was inducted.
by Stephanie McMahon.
I didn't know that.
And Trish Stratus announced she was pregnant with her first son.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like, all the weird WWE fans were like, lucky guy.
Booker T. I didn't know that.
Inducted by Stevie Ray, his brother.
And Bruno Sammartino, inducted by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger talk about people and their muscles, because like during the induction, I feel like he was just like, and he had such big chaps. The chaps are so big in his arms. His arms are huge.
He is incredible. I love going to the Arnold convention in Columbus and just listening to him talk.
He's inspirational when, you know, not talking about secret babies.
I do want to say that Booker T and Stevie Ray, then that night was the first time they had spoken in 5 years.
How did you, where did you find that fact?
I do my history. I do my homework.
No, okay, man. Booker T. I can't believe that. I didn't even know that. I should have done my notes before this episode, but
Can you dig it?
sucker.
How
All
about
right.
if Bruno Sammartino was not inducted, if he said, you know what, I don't want to come, do you know who was going to be inducted instead?
Wait. Who'd you say to replace it with?
Sammartino.
Oh, Larry Zbyszko.
No, D Generation X.
Oh, no, I said Larry Zbyszko because that was someone that was like a rivalry that he had with Bruno Sammartino. They had like a like student teacher kind of rivalry back in the days, and then one person turned on another, and then they probably had a match like typical people do.
I swear, I thought you made up that name.
No, I didn't make up that name. Nothing I say is made up about wrestling.
That's fair. Oh, also, this was the 14th class to enter the Hall of Fame.
Oh, nice. So that was fun. I don't remember the ride back. I think it was fine. And
No, it wasn't. We had to wait 3 hours for our bus.
oh, we did.
We left and I was in a panic because I was like, oh my God, we're stuck in the city. We have to get back to the bus station right away or else we're going to miss our bus. And we got there and the bus was supposed to pick us up at like 9 and it got us at like 1 in the morning.
No. Back that up.
No, you don't think it was that long?
No, the Hall of Fame didn't end till midnight.
Oh my God, that's right.
Because the people just keep talking and talking, and Bob Backlund pays his taxes. Like it was just that over and over. Don't get me wrong, it's great. Every single person deserves their flowers. They put their body on the line for our entertainment. Like wrestling, it's just people put their bodies on the line, so they should talk for hours.
Yeah.
But it's so long.
I forgot about that. I thought it ended at like 8:30, but that makes more sense because we didn't get back to the hotel till like 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Do you remember
Was that
going back to the hotel and just hearing like through the walls, like, oh yeah, ah.
This guy having the time of his life and this girl just not talking. It was like, I should not be here right now.
I'm gonna give you the best 30 seconds of my life, of your life.
Was that the night that you and dad went to go get pizza?
Yes, it was the night we went to get pizza. There's so much more than I thought about this story.
That's why I take so many notes.
Yeah, we went to get pizza, and that's when either I think you and I were both there, or one of us was still there, and that's when you just heard
It
business
was
happening
me.
in the other room.
You and dad went to go get the pizza, but you so guys, this is before a lot of different apps were out, as including like Google Maps was not even I think it was barely a thing. Apple Maps were really bad. It was the Apple Maps that would like they'll turn left in a bridge.
Yeah.
And Chris and dad at 3 a.m. were trying to find this Domino's pizza by a guy going, I don't know where you at.
It's like, the Drake and Josh thing where they're driving and the GPS is like, "Turn left in 50 feet." It's like,
And they got back to the hotel with no pizza because they got frustrated.
yeah. So that was that night.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
So I so we could go to WrestleMania morning. I
Let's do it.
remember we got there fairly early, if I remember.
Wasn't there a guy that told a joke to dad when we were pulling in, or vice versa? It was something silly that happened in the parking lot.
So I was very tired, and I remember my ADHD was through the roof at that point because I didn't go to therapy yet. And I remember me just yelling out the window just to random people, just be like, "Hey, Jugga Tits! I want a cannoli."
I totally forgot about that. Oh my god.
And I have a tendency to continue to say stuff until it's funny to people. So I just kept saying it. Just like, "Hey, Jugga Tits, you want a cannoli?"
That's right. And didn't you yell it at the parking attendant?
Yes.
That's right. I don't know. We probably should not have lived through that night because dad probably should have killed us that night for how
Yeah.
annoying we were.
So we get to the stadium, and this is crazy. This is over 10 years ago. Um, we get to the stadium, and it's like a cookout. Like, it's awesome. I remember the weather being probably like a solid like 45 degrees, but it was sunny. And uh, it was windier that night, and we'll talk about our seats in a second. But I remember just walking around, everyone dressed up, cosplaying, but the best people that cosplayed were, and they didn't even dress up at all. They were just people. For people who don't know, the Bushwhackers is a tag team that was back in the 80s,
Bushwhackers.
and they were known for walking with their arms in front of their face like that. Sorry, no one can see it, but just like it looked silly, like how they walk. Look it up online. Pause this episode. Look it up online and just watch how they walk. There were two people that walked like that around the whole stadium, and then like 4 hours later, we were inside the stadium, and they were still walking like that.
I remember you being in awe of them and just being like almost jealous. Like, I wish I had like, I wish I could do that.
Their arms must have been so tired afterwards. So let's see. Going to New York and everything like that. So our seats were at like the very top. And can I tell you my initial reaction when we got to our seats?
Please, absolutely.
Disappointment.
I know. And I know, like, you kind of wanted to get up and walk around and see different things out. And we were like, we are so tired. We don't want to move.
I was so disappointed from the look of the seats, of the pillar blocking like half of the ring and everything. I was like, this is gonna be terrible.
Luckily, there was the giant Jumbotron on top we could watch.
At that point, it's no longer about like seeing what's happening. It's about like being in that environment
Oh, yeah.
with a bunch of other. I just remember being up there, and then they did the first pre-show match, which I believe was The Miz versus someone. And I remember just kind of turning and looking at the crowd, and it was like, I am at a football event. Like, like it is insane. So it was The Miz defeated Wade Barrett in the first pre-match by submission. So that was the first match.
You know what, Chris? I have a funny thing to say about every single match too, as to follow with tradition of what I started a couple weeks ago for the Royal Rumble.
Oh, about making up people's names. So
No,
here,
no, no, because I know all these people.
no. I'm gonna ask you a question, and let me see if I have any other notes about like the seats. Hold on one second. So the parking and the environment. Parking was about $50 or so it wasn't that bad. So the weather about 45 degrees. The bushwhackers, the hotel. So the stage. Let's talk about that for 1 second.
Oh yeah,
The stage setup. I'm looking. A bunch of videos are coming up on TikTok about like best stages. This isn't everybody's top three.
it makes sense. It's so cool.
To let people know what the front stage looked like where people walked out of, it was in the shape of the Brooklyn Bridge. And people walked out from underneath the bridge, and the canopy that they had the Statue of Liberty on top of it. So it was a really cool stage. I was in awe by that until I saw the pillar blocking the ring, and then that's when I was like, okay. So stage setup, fantastic. Here's my first question for you. So the Shield was in the first match of the show, I believe. It comprised of Dean Ambrose, now known as Jon Moxley in AEW, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, a very prolific three-man tag team. Can you guess the three people they faced?
Yes, Randy Orton, Sheamus, and The Big Show.
Why? Why?
All I wrote was, "Boom! You got shielded by the Shield, fella."
Well, my comment is Big Show heel turn again. Because the Big Show turned on Randy Orton during that match.
I did not know that. I read a little bit about the backstory. I was more in like who won, who was fighting, who, all that fun stuff. So I don't know any of these storylines.
Okay. There was really no storyline for the Shield coming into it. So the very next match, Mark Henry versus Ryback.
I wrote meat on meat match. Hope no one had a protein fart.
If you remember, the match ended when Ryback went to do his finisher, where he picks him up on his shoulders, kind of like a backbreaker kind of deal, or what's that move called again?
The F5?
No, not the F5. Like it's a backbreaker move, like it's like rack or something, torture rack.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he comes down with the guy, but he put him up for the Ryback move, and Mark Henry just fell on him, and then the match ended.
Terrible ending. I remember that being a really bad match.
Ooh, this was a good match. Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan and Kane defeats Big E Langston and Dolph Ziggler with AJ Lee.
I wrote Ziggler lost. Yes.
Which now, just to kind of give perspective on the wrestlers, Daniel Bryan, now Bryan Danielson, wrestled in AEW until he retired. Well, semi-retired. Kane, who is no longer in WWE, who is now the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee. Big E Langston, who is now Big E because they took away his last name for some weird reason. And he ended up breaking his neck, and he is just doing stuff for WWE right now. So hopefully he returns soon. Dolph Ziggler, who is now Nick Nemeth in TNA.
Nick Nemeth?
That's it. That's his real name, or as they say in the biz, his shoot name.
Okay.
And
like
then
it.
AJ Lee's married to CM Punk and just living her life.
There we go. Does she do anything?
I think she does like signings and everything like that. So yeah,
That's cool.
and people on the internet are always just like, "Are you coming back? Are you coming back?" It's like, let her live her life. Like
She's allowed to live, man.
she's allowed to live. God damn. Like match 5, Fandango defeated Chris Jericho by pinfall.
I wrote, "What the actual hell, Vince?"
So apparently Fandango, this was supposed to be his push. Like he was supposed to be pushed to like like crazy. And then Chris Jericho was like, "No, I'm not going to job out to him. Like I don't want to lose to a dancer." And then he just listened to Vince and Vince did whatever, which Chris Jericho is now in AEW. Fandango, and his name is like Curtis something. He's in the Independents and yeah, he's doing good for himself.
Man, I can you imagine being Mick Foley watching that and being like, "I never beat him," and they let this scrub beat him?
Yeah. Yeah. Alberto Del Rio, which I think was a babyface in this match, versus Jack Swagger.
Yeah, it's Mexico's revenge for the Alamo.
Why? I don't really
It's,
have much to say about this match, so I mean, it was
I
fine.
mean, I do have something to say.
Okay.
This was unified with the WWE Championship with the World Heavyweight Championship. This is one of those matches, and it was the last WrestleMania to feature 2 world titles until WrestleMania 33 in 2017.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
Right?
Thanks for hitting me with that. And then my match that I call the 5-star match. That was the match that should have main evented at WrestleMania. The Undertaker versus CM Punk.
From start to finish, beautiful. I have no notes, no bad notes.
No bad notes. That was the match where I was just like, this was worth it. Like, I was a huge CM Punk fan at the time, still a huge CM Punk fan. And just seeing him. So at this point, this was the last WrestleMania match we saw. That was your fact?
No, I'm sorry. That wasn't my fact. Go right ahead.
Yeah, but this is the last WrestleMania match that he was in until the WrestleMania this year, where he's going to be in a match in a triple threat versus Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in the main event.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's main event.
Yeah, it's main eventing WrestleMania Night 1. And then WrestleMania Night 2 is headlined by Cody Rhodes and heel John Cena.
Outstanding. Well, just to put this in perspective, too, when this took place, the one that we went to in New Jersey, this was April 7th, 2013. So 12 years ago, that was the last time that we saw CM Punk in anything like this.
My favorite fact about this match is CM Punk says that he was so beat up and so over being in WWE at that time, he went into that match not giving a shit. Like, most people, when they face The Undertaker at WrestleMania, they're in the ring and they're scared or whatever, or they're being serious and everything. He was in the ring just like, come on, let's go. And then as soon as the bell tolled and the lights came off, he was like, yeah.
Wasn't there a thing with Paul Bearer's death being a part of the storyline too?
Yeah, Paul Bearer, he died.
Actually died.
Legit died, not kayfabe died. He legit.
And Vince went, "How can I make this money?"
Yeah, and then the final Raw before WrestleMania, CM Punk grabbed an urn, opened the urn, and poured ashes on the Undertaker.
It's like, what?
Which was amazing.
Crazy time to be alive.
This match I forgot happened. Triple H and Brock Lesnar in a no holds barred match. I don't remember much from it.
I wrote Meat on Meat 2 with sledgehammers.
And yeah, Triple H.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Triple H, if he lost, he would have had to retire.
Yeah, I see that right here. Triple H defeated Brock Lesnar, which is dumb. Like, Brock Lesnar should have been built as a beast back then. First of all, this is not known as a good WrestleMania.
I think the star power was there, but for some reason it just wasn't that great.
And then finally, John Cena defeated The Rock. But let me back it up for 1 second. There's one match that we're missing that was cut out.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say it.
It was, well, your name on this episode is called the Funkadactyl, so I have to say it. So it was the Brodus Clay and... Do you have the names? I don't remember the name.
I do. It was Tons of Funk, who was Brodus Clay and Tensai, and the Funkadactyls, Naomi and Cameron, versus the Bella Twins, which I forget their names.
Nikki and Brie.
Thank you. Versus the Rhodes Scholars, Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow. it got cut.
Oh, and Cody Rhodes came back with a vengeance.
And Dad was so mad because all he wanted to see was Cody stinking Rhodes.
I know. Isn't it funny that he made a joke out of that? Like, oh, we didn't get to see Cody Rhodes.
He still makes the joke.
It still makes the joke. And Cody Rhodes is now like main eventing WrestleMania again for the third straight year.
Now, just so everyone knows too, they did have that match the next night at the
Monday Night Raw.
at the Izod Center across the street, and Funkadactyls won.
Fun fact. And also, oh my God, I forgot about this. So I will talk about John Cena. Why does it say John Cena defeat? Oh, John Cena did defeat The Rock because previously, the year before, The Rock beat John Cena. And then John Cena finally beat The Rock because John Cena needed to be proven as the top guy at the time. Spoiler, he did not need that win. He was already the top guy.
Was this the one where they just did finisher after finisher after finisher?
Yes, but the finish, they did a callback to WrestleMania 28, where John Cena, he went to do the 5-knuckle shuffle, but he decided, hey, screw it, I'm going to do the people's elbow. And when he bounced off the rope, The Rock caught him in a rock bottom. 1, 2, 3. The Rock won. This year, John Cena went to do that again, but he held on to the ropes. The Rock was gonna catch him, and then John Cena said, "You can't see me," and then they took it to the finish, which John Cena won.
Oh, they let John Cena finish on him.
Yeah, come on.
Sorry, I know it's a family show. My bad. I'm having flashbacks of our earlier episodes in 2022. The Rock did suffer torn muscles and tendons around his pelvis from that match.
Kid off the bone.
Yeah, that was rough.
So, also, sorry, I'm looking up the YouTube videos I looked up today. Also, P. Diddy performed.
He sure did, multiple times.
He performed I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Yeah,
that is P. Diddy, right?
What?
That is P. Diddy, right?
P. Diddy, yeah, Dirty Money and Skylar Grey.
Oh my God. So not only were we in the room with people aren't gonna like this, but like not only were we in the room with one sex offender, but 2 in one weekend.
I will say that the official songs for the show were "Coming Home" by Diddy and Skylar Grey, "Bones" by Young Guns, and "Letters from the Sky" from Civil Twilight. And I had to actually look these up because I didn't remember any of them.
Okay, so I have this one. Do you remember walking around the stadium and all they did was play? I got the video. All they did was play this.
Told every single person who would listen that I needed to win that match.
Over and over again.
They really wanted to make John Cena.
Yeah.
Really wanted to make him big.
Oh yeah, watch this. Keep watching this. And that song, that's one of the theme songs?
Yep, it sure is. "Letters from the Sky."
Okay. So, Brock Lesnar beats him up. CM Punk beats him up. They just show him getting the crap kicked out of him. Where
Guys,
was it?
one day we are going to post these episodes so you can see what we're doing and just enjoy us looking on our phones and looking stuff up.
Where is it? So, they say John Cena says he had the worst year of his life. And the very next thing they show is this. I'll show you this.
Personally, because I could not get over my obsession.
For people who
John
don't
Cena's
know,
divorced.
John Cena lost to The Rock, so he got divorced.
His wife said, you're very faithful, but you lost to The Rock.
You lost to The Rock, man. Like, you don't got that Samoan oil. We got divorced.
Samoan oil.
We gotta get divorced now. So they
man.
put John Cena's divorce into the storyline as his worst year. First of all, that song, that's a very good song.
It is. It's great.
I just
I
wish
would rank that higher on the WrestleMania songs.
Yeah. Like I think we'll have to do a list of WrestleMania songs one day. And
3 Doors Down and Saliva gets number 1.
well, Saliva, yeah, that was a really good one. I missed it when it was Limp Bizkit and all that.
Oh my, well, and let's not forget that Cult of Personality was played by Living Color for CM Punk.
Yeah, and that was amazing.
Yeah, it was.
So uh what else do we have going on? So yeah,
I got a fun fact for you.
okay.
You know who was there that is also like right this kind of goes right in track with what we've been talking about with weird celebrities that were there. Snooki was backstage.
Snooki was
Yes, he
backstage.
was.
uh, WrestleMania is so weird. Like, so we're gonna do a fun game real quick before we end this episode. We're gonna do a lightning round of WrestleMania matches this year and who you think's gonna win.
Oh
Uh,
dear. Okay.
yes, but like they always do like these weird ass things, like where they're just like, here's a random celebrity, and they do a segment for 15 minutes or something along those lines. And like, I think it's gonna happen again this year because Randy Orton. I'll give you this one spoiler. Uh, we are we are going into the phase now in this episode where we're concluding about our trip, and now we're going to quickly go over the WrestleMania card this year. Uh,
Before we wrap up our trip, that next morning after WrestleMania, we had the best diner ever. We stopped at a diner and had the best food ever on our way home.
yeah, and I also remember being home and finally being with my now wife again because I was in college. And we went back to my dorm, and we were kissing. We were having a good time. We're like, "Oh, I missed you. I missed you." And we had Raw on, and then Dolph Ziggler cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, and I was like, "Get out of my way!"
Oh shoot, I almost forgot. Our girlfriends at the time, now wives, watched us or watched the show at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, that's when Buffalo Wild Wings used to do it. Now they don't. Dave and Buster's does though.
Oh, that's kind of cool. We have a Dave and Buster's down here now.
Real? Nice.
Yeah, they spelled it
Nice. Good for you.
down over at Mayfair.
Mayfair, every style, every home. All right.
So yes, I am. I that's everything I had. That's literally all my notes.
All right. So, yep, I had a great time. Dolph Ziggler's cash in. I remember Alberto Del Rio in that match. It was going to be disappointing because all we wanted to do was see a cash in. I think the Raw after WrestleMania was also the Fandango chants, which was the da 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 da.
Fandango.
Yeah, and he gets the shit kicked out of him, and he's like, Fandango. It's fun. Dango. And then he gets the crap beat out of him, and then all of a sudden, everyone in the crowd again. Da 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 da. That's my one regret that we did not go to the Raw after WrestleMania.
You know what? I lied. I did have one more note, and that was Dad and I having to talk you out of staying an extra night so that we could just go home.
Oh, I should have just done it. No, we should have just done it. The Raw after Mania.
In 12 years, he's still mad.
The Raw after Mania was way better than WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was.
It was so much better.
Dude,
I forget how they concluded it. I forget how they concluded it because last year's Raw after Mania was great because Brock Lesnar came back and beat the crap out of John Cena. So I forget how this one ended. But any other notes?
No, I had a great time. It was a weird WrestleMania, but it was just a great time. Like we saw a lot of like people that are big now and people that aren't even wrestling anymore. We got to see all that happen, and like I don't know, it's something I carry with me.
Yeah, same here. Like, and the Boys in the Berg shirt that you made for me for Christmas. It's us.
That's right.
It's us at WrestleMania.
I forgot about you. That's right.
What shirt did you wear at WrestleMania?
I think I was really big into flannels back then. I think I had a big fluffy flannel.
I had the yellow CM Punk shirt that said GTS on it.
That's right. That's right. Because we were gonna buy shirts and stuff, and like I think Dad was like, "Ah, I'm good," and I was like, "Well, I'm cool, so I don't want one either." And you were like, "Give me that shirt."
I was in heaven going to WrestleMania, and
No, we had WrestleMania shirts. I'm sorry.
oh yeah, we did. It's the ones that said I was there.
Yes. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Everyone, I lied. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So it had the logo on the front, and I was there on the back.
Good times.
It was a very good time. So let's go ahead and let's do a lightning round.
All right.
For the matches. So I'm going to start with night 1 of WrestleMania, and I'm going to read. This is the card that I found on Yahoo Sports. We have a total of 15 seconds to come up with a winner.
All right.
So, night 1, main event. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk.
CM Punk.
People are rumoring that Seth Rollins is going to become a Paul Heyman guy because the storyline is Paul Heyman is Roman Reigns' wise man, but also CM Punk's friend. So
Okay.
Seth Rollins is going to turn, and then he's going to join The Rock and John Cena. Maybe. I don't know. So I'm
Rock
just going
and John Cena?
Yeah, The Rock and John Cena are now aligned with each other.
Interesting. Okay.
John Cena sold his soul to The Rock.
This is some Lucha Underground stuff right here.
All right, Seth Rollins. I pick Seth Rollins. And
Okay. Are we recording this so that next week we can like see who won, who didn't?
Yeah. We'll do that.
I mean, obviously we're recording it, but like, are you writing it down?
No, I'm not writing it down.
Do you want me to write it down?
Yeah, write it down.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So let's see who wins. Okay, match 2. World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Gunther.
Jey Uso. I'm going to say Jey. All right. The WWE Women's Championship. I don't know if you know any of these people are. Tiffany Stratton, who is the champion, versus Charlotte Flair. You don't know who any of them are.
I'm gonna go with Stratton.
I'm strangely going with Charlotte Flair. We're on opposite sides.
Okay.
All right. The World Tag Team Championship, which this was kind of thrown together. The War Raiders versus the New Day.
Who are the War Raiders?
They're a tag team that's been in the WWE for a while, and they have beards and they're big.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can't cheer against the New Day, so New Day.
I'm gonna say the New Day also. All right. United States Championship, LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu.
LA Knight.
I'm gonna say Jacob Fatu.
Is Jacob Fatu the one that I call like the big meaty dude?
Yeah, the one that always has his mouth open.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. This one, I want to hear your reaction. Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Is he fighting a coffee cup?
The storyline is Chad Gable, if you remember him, turned into a bad guy, and he said, he went to learn the studies of luchador, and he went to Mexico and everything, and then all of a sudden this guy came up called El Grande Americano, and you're like, that's Chad Gable. And then they do a backstage segment where they're interviewing Chad Gable, and he's just like, no, that's not me. That's the whole storyline.
I'm gonna have to go with Ray.
I'm gonna go with Ray. I'm gonna go with Ray also.
No, you know what? I'm gonna go with Chad Gable, or what'd you call him? American pot roast?
El Grande Americano.
I'm gonna go with him.
All right. And finally, Jade Cargill versus Naomi. Yes, Naomi, a Funkadactyl.
This is the first night?
Yes, this is the first night.
Oh my god. What were the names again?
Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
Because my name is the Funkadactyl on this podcast episode, I'm gonna go with Naomi.
I'm gonna go with Jade Cargill. All right. And then finally, night 2.
God, okay, go ahead.
We'll go faster this one.
Is night 2 like the same amount of matches?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez, okay.
All right, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
Oh God, of course you would start with that one. Rhodes.
John Cena.
Okay.
Yeah. Triple threat for the WWE Women's World Championship. It is Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair.
Bianca?
Bianca Belair, that's her name.
I like it. Rhea Ripley.
I pick Rhea Ripley also. All right. The Women's Tag Team Championship, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria.
Bayley.
I'm going to go with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Oh wait, who's Bailey with?
Bailey is with, you won't know who she is. Her name is Lyra Valkyria.
Oh, Lyra. Okay.
You don't know who Lyra.
No, I'm just. I I, I
I
don't
know
know
who she is.
What were the other names again? The ones you voted for?
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Morgan and Raquel. Okay.
Braun Breaker versus Dominic Mysterio versus Penta versus Finn Balor.
I'm gonna go with Finn just because he's one of my favorites.
I'm gonna go with Penta because I like Penta.
Zero.
Marrow.
Zero bone marrow.
Sin City Street Fight. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
Man, I'm gonna go with Blundertaker.
I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre. Wow, we're on opposite spectrums of everything.
For the most part, yeah.
All right, finally the last one: AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Oh, AJ Styles.
Logan Paul.
Oh my God. We agreed on 2 matches: New Day and Ripley.
We are all over the place. My God. So, okay, this will be fun to talk about. Recap episode of WrestleMania 41 taking place in Las Vegas.
We may need to record Tuesday night so we can actually watch all of it.
Just watch it on Easter. What's so important on Easter?
So if anyone doesn't know, I'm going to be in church that day.
Yeah, you're not going to be at church that night.
Anyway, this was very fun going back in time and talking to you about our travels. And oh man, just a great episode, I think. A lot of fun to talk about.
No, I had a lot of fun too. And if you want to listen to more fun, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you want to follow the fun, you can follow the boys. We're on Facebook, Facebook X and Instagram. And leave us a 5-star review and make your predictions. Who do you think's going to win the matches? I think my predictions are pretty solid.
Yeah, I think his are pretty trash. Go JJ.
No, Team Chris. Yeah, this was fun. I'm gonna go ahead and watch the last Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania. So I've been Chris.
I've been JJ.
And we'll see Jens real soon.